Welcome to Bright Nights in Stanley Park Virtual Experience 2020, presented by the Vancouver Parks Board in support of the BC Professional Firefighters Burn Fund. These pre-show and audio description notes were prepared and read by Ingrid Turk for VocalEye. The Bright Nights display in Stanley Park follows the route of the Stanley Park miniature train, a 2-kilometre loop through the woods northwest of the Vancouver Aquarium. It is pulled by a black and red miniature replica steam engine, with the engineer perched atop the coal tender at the back of the engine. Following it is a line of 5 or so flat-deck miniature railway cars with 7 wooden benches on each car, and each car is topped with a red canopy. Each bench seats up to 4 people, but tonight is chilly and there's plenty of room. The displays and vignettes are scattered through the woods along the train track, and because the track loops back on itself, many of them appear to glow in the distance through the trees. The effects of the lights are achieved with long lengths of LED Christmas lights, wound around tree trunks, arranged in patterns on the forest floor, and hung along the delicate, bare branches of trees. The lights sometimes outline a shape, but often they are masked to create pools and splashes of color. Individual figures may be 2-dimensional and lit with floodlights, or 3-dimensional, lit from within. The ride normally takes about 20 minutes, but tonight the ride has been edited and condensed to 7.5 minutes. We take our seats at the back of the train on the right-hand side, closest to the displays. It's a clear night tonight, and the woods are calm. The engineer appears in a black and white checked jacket and a Santa hat.
Hi, I'm Krista. I'm one of the engineers here at the Stanley Park Railway, and while we're unable to welcome you in person to the Bright Nights event, we hope you enjoy this virtual ride. Are you ready? All aboard!
The train gives a little jerk and we're off. There's a row of 8-foot candy canes and large, shiny wrapped presents at their bases. Santa and some elves play hide-and-seek around a big tree with a green and gold wreath hanging on the trunk. More elves pile presents into an old-fashioned sleigh. Snowflakes, big as bicycle wheels, float suspended overhead. Frosty the Snowman waves his red mittens at us from a glowing patch of snow. Elegant white reindeer with turquoise collars leap and dance in a glade of lilac light, beneath bright snowflakes big as pies. Other snowmen with carrot noses and top hats smile at us from among the green-wrapped tree trunks. Here's one with a jaunty red bow at his neck. One little hemlock tree, dwarfed by the big trees around it, glows with green lights and golden balls. Stars cascade down a massive tree trunk, trailing swirling red and gold ribbons. This is the brightest display, and it lights up everyone on the train. Several reindeer on their hind legs carry presents in their front hooves as they follow a candy cane path through the low shrubs that have white lights scattered through them like glowing berries. A pot-bellied reindeer stands on its hind legs sucking on a candy cane. Mounds of orange and violet lights blur past, revealing a gaggle of gingerbread people. There's a cluster of small reindeer in a patch of green, and large, brightly colored toys are scattered and tucked among shrubs. A rocking horse, a teddy bear, multicolored lights are draped over the shrubs. We bump over a railway crossing, and distant lights twinkle and glow along the track. Glittering pyramids of red and blue stand outside a rustic paddock with a split-rail fence. In the paddock beyond a large ranch gateway stand 2 giant nutcrackers holding a banner, BC Professional Firefighters Burn Fund. A grove of cherry trees is abloom with glowing tiny pink blossoms. And we bump over the railway tracks again. Two teddy bears in Santa hats offer red and green poinsettias. 2 gold and silver stars shoot from the top of a cairn of boulders, trailing their silvery tails through the trees in opposite directions. Here's a pair of drummer boys. An old-growth stump, from when this land was logged, is covered in ferns and draped with white lights. Here's a cozy cabin scene with a fireplace and Christmas tree. 2 small reindeer in a carpet of leaves and moss. Big snowflakes tumble from the trees above them. Strands of golden lights cascade from bare tree branches and pool on the ground. Santa and his sleigh are taking off, the reindeer are already airborne, with Rudolph and his glowing red nose up high in front. A small, still lake mirrors the lights around its black shores. On the far shore, a lacework of red. Impressionistic swaths of color outline leafless trees. Trunks traced with blue, white, yellow, or pink emerge from a haze of shrubs, each lit in green, turquoise, or pale gold, all reflected in the dark, glassy water. We pass a little mill, its water wheel quiet for the winter, and its roof shingled with red lights. As we curve along the shoreline here, the engine appears way up in front of us. The tracks beneath us are edged with large, bright white frost crystals, doubled by the lake's reflection. Up close, the red lace is revealed to be a tracery of delicate strings of lights on slender trees leaning over the lake. Beyond the trees, a dark path leads into the forest. Here are child-sized gingerbread people holding red and white lollipops as big as they are, frolicking over a multicolored patchwork of lights. Tall lollipops show the way like street lamps. Clumps of fern glow like emeralds. A Bambi-like deer stands in a bower of blue and green ferns. A formal table with a candy cane striped tablecloth is loaded with sumptuous desserts, protected by the boughs of a hemlock tree. A little further on, there's an elegant dining room with chairs and a table set with glowing gold tableware around a huge, perfectly roasted turkey. The chairs are scattered as if the guests have just left for a moment. We're at the lake again, where big white and silver snowflakes float suspended over the dark water. Shrubs and ferns along the shore are lit in cool blues and greens, punctuated by tiny white lights. Over the railway again. And Santa drinks tea in his kitchen. There's a Christmas tree and a big mound of gifts. We must be at the South Pole. There's a pair of penguins. Glowing soft white and blue, they occupy sparkling icebergs and swirling blue lights. A baby penguin stretches its wings. Clusters of small yellow stars dance through the trees scattered among the icebergs and the approaching ice floes of the Arctic, where a family of 3 polar bears ride the floating ice through the sparkling waves. Red and green lights welcome us to Santa's village, where a red and white signpost says North Pole. A Christmas train cutout with a teddy bear engineer. Frolicking polar bears greet us as we approach the station. Glowing arches display Christmas ornaments of pink and gold, blue and silver. Here's a snow-white reindeer with bells around its neck. And in a garden of twinkling, multicolored plants stands one more reindeer, a sparkling golden one woven out of twigs and branches. And we're at the station. Bright nights in Stanley Park, thank you for your support. See you next year. Please consider making a donation to the BC Professional Firefighters Burn Fund at www.burnfund.org.